Hey, all right. It's Hard Talk Radio. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman, co-host, Mr. Victor Joseph Stalin Beowulf. I'm sorry, did I mess up your name again?
We're from the old country.
We got Joseph Stalin here on the show, okay, guys?
That's how I feel sometimes.
All right. Okay.
No poison tonight, though. No poison tonight.
No poison. That's good. That's good. No gulags. No gulags either. Okay.
That's right.
All right. So our guest here tonight is Mr. Jacobs, Nicholas Michael Jacobs. How you doing?
Good.
Are you allowed to talk? Are you in a gulag?
What?
Are you in a Russian prison?
Does it sound like I am?
Oh wait, there might be code. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing. All right, but we got Nicholas Michael Jacobs here, and there's one question I start off with all my guests, and that is, who are you, and what do you do?
Well, I'm a 22-year-old independent horror filmmaker from Philadelphia, and I got my start in filmmaking about maybe 6 years or so ago, like serious filmmaking. And then I made my first feature a couple years back, and now I'm on to my fourth.
Oh, cool. That's very cool.
That's great.
You start off pretty young. You're talking about, so you're 22 now. I mean, you start off in high school doing this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, are your films, they're just horror? I mean, are they horror? Are they comedy? Are they other things as well? Or?
It's usually like a combination of horror and comedy. Some are just straight up horror, and then there's a few thrillers sprinkled in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the draw for horror? Like, why horror?
I just fell in love with it at a young age. Like going to Blockbuster and stuff like that. Like, horror covers would always catch my eye the most, even as a kid. And I don't know. I just felt drawn to that genre for some reason. I don't really know how to explain it.
Yeah. Man, yeah, I remember those days going to a Blockbuster and going through the horror movie section. That's good stuff. Usually taking a date.
That's right.
Horror movies, man, they work. They work. They do. Saw 2. That movie, not the best movie, but for what it did for me, it's pretty good. That's why I have fond memories of that movie right there. All right, so what about for you?
I like Saw 2. I like it a lot.
Well, you know what? As long as they continue making more Saw movies, Saw 2 keeps on getting better and better. Actually, Saw 2 was pretty good. Saw 2 was the one with the needle pit, right?
Yeah, that's part 2.
Yeah, man, that scene. Oh god, that scene was intense. Okay, but what was your favorite?
So wait, what did you think of Spiral?
I'm going to reserve my thoughts for a review, an actual review. All
right.
I got to get the co-host to watch Spiral. Maybe we could review a movie that people actually watch, at least recently. Okay, so Jacobs, what movie would you get at a Blockbuster in the horror section?
Usually the weirder ones, the weirder the better. But I remember getting like a lot of full moon titles there. Like, I remember one of the last ones that I rented was Ginger Dead Man with Gary Busey.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool movie.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love the Puppet Master series, so like I was just drawing the full moon stuff, even the ones that aren't the best.
Well, I agree, man. Have you ever seen Castle Freak? That was a good one.
Oh, Castle Freak is underrated, man. Underrated.
Oh,
Castle Freak. All right. Castle Freak. That one I haven't seen. I'll check that one out. That one, it's underrated, Mr. Beowulf.
absolutely, absolutely. Man, you just have to check it out. I would like to tell you more about it, man, but I don't want to spoil anything, especially the when you see his body and you see what he's going through, you kind of understand the antagonist a little bit better there.
Okay. Now, Ginger Dead Man, I saw I think last year. Man, that thing was hilarious. Anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So when your first movie, was it like inspired by like one of these movies? Like maybe something like Ginger Dead Man or something else?
Genevieve, my newest film.
Well, in general, like when you first started making movies or making videos,
mm-hmm.
what horror movie really inspired you to do that?
To make movies, yeah. I guess it would be the Evil Dead movies, like Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness. Like just the story of like the Sam and Bruce and Rob like getting together and making that movie. That's what really inspired me to become a filmmaker, because I saw what they did, and I was like, okay, if they can do it, then I can do it too. And that's really what inspired me most.
Man, and you mentioned the story about the process of them making it, and also the story about them actually getting the money for it. They got a lot of funding through just asking like dentists and stuff to see if they can get some sort of some sort of help there, some sort of financing.
Yeah.
Then they went to a car dealership at one point and laid it out for them in the meeting boardroom, But yeah, they were able to get those funds.
Yeah. In those places, they probably wrote that off as a loss. Like, okay, well, here you go. We don't really expect this money back anyway. They probably saw the final product, because at the time, Evil Dead 2 was like, Evil Dead. I mean, that was a cult classic. I mean, it was like, okay. Well, I mean, it didn't do as well as other movies around that time. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure they got their money back. Those guys.
They got
the dentists got their money back.
More than enough. Now they're doing Evil Dead 4. I mean, the franchise is pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Yeah, and they got that video game coming out too.
Oh, cool.
That's right. Okay, so for your movies, for your filmmaking, have you been successful getting money from a dentist or from a car dealership?
Well, most of the stuff is completely funded by me,
okay.
Except for like certain instances where I needed help raising money to go to submit to film festivals a couple years back. I think it was like 2018 or so. And and then we actually got our film accepted to a film festival in New York, which was cool. And I won an award for Best Original Score there. And called Fear NYC.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was a cool experience. But yeah, most of the stuff's completely funded by me and on like minuscule budgets.
Okay.
How do you secure those funds? You just save up from work, or is it like Kevin Smith where you just get a credit card and then you max it out, or how do you do that?
I just I save up for it basically, and then whenever and a lot of the times I reuse the same stuff sometimes, like certain props or whatever, like I try to get the most use out of it as possible.
I hear you, man. So like what about
the same thing with the camera too? Fake blood, actually, I'm still using the same fake blood that I used in high school. It still has not ran out on me. I still have the same gallons.
Oh, that is awesome. So you bought it at the store. You didn't make it out of the Karo syrup and the red food dye. That's smart thinking, man.
I bought it from a Halloween store.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got some leftover Halloween blood over here too, from when I did little gags and stuff for the show. That stuff lasts a while.
I know we used to shoot these really cheap films in black and white with Hershey's chocolate syrup. That was about our budget.
Hey, that's what they did though, and it looks great. Black and white. Oh man, that looks very convincing. Anyway, so let's talk about Genevieve.
Okay.
So tell us about this movie, Genevieve. Why? What's going on with Genevieve?
So Genevieve is this feature has been building up for a while. I've made multiple shorts starring this doll, and a lot of people have been asking me to make a feature based off of the character. So this is finally me doing what people want me to do. And the character actually first had a segment in an anthology film that I made in 2018 called Urban Fears, which is the one that went to the film festival. And she has a segment there, and it seemed like the audience responded the most to that character over certain other characters from other anthology, other shorts of the anthology. And so I started making these shorts, putting them up on YouTube and stuff, and seeing how people reacted to them. And they did pretty well. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this idea and then turn it into a feature. And that's where we are.
That's really cool. Give me a little background on Genevieve. I've never experienced a character before. So as someone who has never seen your work, describe that character for me.
Okay, so the character is so there was this guy named Ted Morris who played by Sean C. Phillips, Cool Litter on YouTube, and so he found out that his wife was cheating on him one day, and his wife was into some crazy stuff, right? So he goes and he actually kills her, right? And he kills her. And then he takes her skin, wraps her skin around her favorite doll from her childhood. And then the doll comes to life and basically wants revenge on him, and all these, like, it just goes wild because the doll is possessed by his crazy ex-wife.
That's pretty damn cool, man. Okay. I see why that's the character favorite there in the film festival. That makes sense, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is a pretty cool idea. That's a lot better than I guess through some sort of voodoo curse putting your soul into a plastic doll.
Yeah, that's been done to death. I didn't want to do the same. I wanted my doll to stand out, you know.
Yeah. So
also the look is very different too. Like, it looks like it's wrapped in flesh, which is not really a doll that you've seen in a movie before.
Right. It does look pretty wicked. It looks.
That like is definitely the fucking gore fest of doll movies for sure, man. You know, you want a splatter punk, you go to fucking Genevieve.
Genevieve, definitely. And it's wrapped with the flesh of the dude's ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's the whole different level of crazy right there, man. Imagine that. You thought you could get rid of her through divorce, but you can't. Man, she'll never leave you alone. Not even death. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's a horror story. That is. Wow. Do you have experience? You're 22. You're very young. You don't have experience with that. Do you?
Marriage?
Yeah. Ex-wives?
No, not yet.
Okay, so now I definitely want to check. I'm gonna buy a DVD from this guy and check it out. Well, when does the movie come out? Because it's not out yet right now, right?
Well, you can purchase DVDs from me if you want a DVD copy to see it early, but it doesn't come out online on Vimeo until August 13th, which is Friday the 13th.
Friday
How would
the 13th.
I find your shorts on YouTube? Is there anything I should type into a search for YouTube to find your work?
Nicholas Michael Jacobs Films is my YouTube channel, and you can find all of my work on there, except for the features. The three other features are currently on Amazon, but this one is going to Vimeo and all.
Oh, cool.
And when you say Amazon, do you also mean like Amazon Prime, like where people could stream it to, or just DVDs?
They were on Prime, but they're not on Prime now currently. But you have to rent them or buy them.
Okay. And how is that service, by the way? As an indie, I never really get a chance to ask this. Usually the guests are like horror authors. So we do a lot with like Amazon through KDB and the printing services. But I rarely get to ask about what it's like for indie filmmakers that put their stuff on an Amazon streaming service. Is it like trying to fetch for pennies? Like, is it really intense competition as well? I mean, tell me about it.
it is like I feel like Amazon does promote my stuff on there. I will say that, but I feel like certain things get buried. You know, like okay, so my first film, Night, did really well, and my second film, Urban Theaters, it did really well outside of Amazon. Like it did really well. Like we showed it in theaters. Like we had a theatrical premiere, and then we went to film festivals and whatever. But on Amazon, it didn't reach the same audience that Night did, and I feel like it was because they were promoting Night more. That's just, I might be overthinking that, but that's how I see it. And also, Tales from 6 Feet Under, which is my third film on there. There was a planned release, but they didn't get back to me in time, which they usually do. That was the only time that they didn't get back to me when they were supposed to. And the film actually did not premiere when it was supposed to. So I had this big lead up and promoting the film and saying, oh, it's out. And then I had to say, oh, sorry, it's not actually out. And then weeks later, it goes up on there. I know. And weeks later, it goes up on there, right? And it doesn't do that great. But eventually, it started to gain a cult following. And then it actually, at most of the time, towards the end of its run, was beating Night the whole time.
That's cool, man. Slow burn. That's good, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm hearing too is so they do mess with it sometimes. So they'll kind of like choose to promote one or the other. Do they ever tell you why? Did you ever got a reason why maybe they promoted Night more than your other movies?
No, they never told me why. And also, I submitted Genevieve for Amazon, and they denied that. That's why we're going to Vimeo. And they didn't even give me a reason why for that either. They just said, no, sorry, they get approved. That's it. They didn't tell me like if I could change. Like it's ridiculous.
Okay.
I almost wonder if it's their algorithm where you have customers who watch something on Prime and then they watch one of your films, and as a result of that, they're choosing based off of what's popular that they have watched, and they see what you've seen or the films that they've seen that they've watched that's been popular. I don't know if that makes sense, but it could have something to do with that algorithm. It
could, yeah. I'm just not sure how they do it. I wish they would just say how they do it, because then it would make more sense. But they're just I guess they're secretive about how it works.
Yeah, they're like fucking KFC chicken, man. You'll never know their goddamn ingredients.
Yeah, they're not going to give away the recipe. But yeah, you kind of brought up a good point there, Bill, because I mean, he and I'm pretty sure watch a lot of horror movies. A lot of people do on like Amazon Prime. I like their selections sometimes. It's like B titles, like titles I've never heard of before. I'm like, oh man, I gotta check this out.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's say you watch Deep Red, okay, and then you watch Night. Well, all these other people are watching Deep Red. They're gonna get that recommendation of Night because the viewer saw Deep Red.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if I view horror movies in a certain way, or any movie in a certain way, I guess other viewers will see that too, or other users will see that as well. They'll be like, oh, okay. Audience that they'll watch this movie. They also like this movie, so we're gonna pair them together. Okay, cool. That helps. Mm-hmm. All right. It's just fascinating about this. I wonder if that same thing works with the books on Amazon. But
oh, it does, man. It does. I've tested that theory before, man.
See, and Jacobs, you brought up something here. Like, so when you submit a movie, they could just reject it, and they don't really tell you why they reject it.
Yeah, exactly. I had a short film that we had to release through YouTube, but I was also planning on making it release on Amazon. It was another Genevieve short film, and it was the newest one called Camo versus Genevieve. So we put that up. I submitted it to Amazon, and all of my shorts were on Amazon at that point too. And then they told me I got it back, and they said no, we're not accepting this, and they didn't give me a reason. So I was like, okay, that's weird. I don't understand why they didn't, because they accepted all of my other things. Mm-hmm. And there's no reason to not accept this one. It's literally it's not like you can say it's an issue of quality or this or that, because every one of my films are the same, So yeah, I didn't get that. And then the next month it was saying, oh, Amazon is no longer accepting nonfiction work and short films. So I was like, oh, okay, that's why they didn't accept that. and then now I submit Genevieve months later, and then I just get that back and no word after that.
Bunch of assholes, man.
Bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos assholes. Now, are you hearing anything from other horror indie filmmakers? Like maybe there's something with horror. Are they clamping down on that? Or indie films?
I don't know, but I mean, maybe probably indie stuff. Honestly, that would probably be what I would think.
Yeah.
Which sucks because like, there's not that many places that you can reach that big of an audience if you're an indie. Amazon's probably the biggest one, you know.
Yeah, Amazon gobbled up the market. I mean, they pretty much are. Already have like Venmo, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That hits a certain amount of people. There's YouTube. You can use that to kind of like, but then you have the YouTube algorithm, and that's hard to deal with as well.
Oh, I know that might be worse than Amazon, to be honest.
It is really. You have to put Genevieve, and then you probably have to put like various other hashtags or whatever to have nothing to do with the movie, just to get people to watch it, get people to see the trailer.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's direct DVDs, and direct DVDs is kind of like, well, that's kind of pretty tough.
Yeah.
I would imagine. All right, so tell us a little bit more about Genevieve, because we kind of brushed over the surface. We got the character. We got her origin. Now, what about the process making it? Like, what was something in this movie that was harder for you to do in the other ones? Like what really challenged you?
I guess the challenge with making a feature on a minuscule budget is always elongating the story, you know? So I feel like that's the biggest challenge with all the films that I've done. So usually I make anthologies for that reason, is because it's easier to do, and it's more digestible for the audience, because it's like you're watching a whole bunch of well-paced shorts instead of dragging feature film out. And so, yeah, that would be my biggest hurdle to come across with all the feature films that I've made. But was there anything else to the question?
Oh, I was asking what challenged you in this movie versus your other ones, and I think you answered it pretty well. Did you work with different cast members this time? I mean, well, you know, like Kevin Smith, like his movies, they kind of like the same sort of people, kind of like Rob Zombie, same sort of people. You know, people get kind of familiar with who they use. Do you kind of do the same thing?
Yeah, but with this one, it was pretty much shot in quarantine, so it was hard to get my usual little. Sometimes I use family members and like whoever else I can bring together. But it was harder to get people together now. So it was just kind of me. And then I got Alan Maxon, who's a really cool monster actor who played Ghidorah and Godzilla King of the Monsters, and he also played Blade in the Puppet Master series and Blade the Iron Cross, and I think
that's cool.
Puppet Master Axis Termination too. And so I got him to do the voice for Genevieve. And
that's nice.
Yeah, it's pretty much just me
cool.
in front of the camera though.
Okay. Oh yeah, and doing a movie during a pandemic, lockdowns, that is tough. There was another indie film guy, Leo X. Robertson. He's also an author. Mr. Beowulf probably knows about him. They probably run cross paths. I don't know. But yeah, he did something very similar. He did it based on like Zoom calls, kind of, sort of. And it's weird how he did it. It's very cool how he put it together, and it works well. But anyway, so you work with your limitations. You don't let it stop you. Like, in fact, if anything, you got you got someone who's kind of known in the horror industry to do the voice of your puppet, or of Genevieve. I don't want to just say puppet. She has a name, Genevieve. Get it right.
Yeah.
Remember her name. Oh, does Genevieve ever get mad if you don't say her name right?
No, she doesn't really talk too much. Besides,
wait,
she did talk in Urban Fears, but she doesn't really talk too much now.
She doesn't talk too much. She's the ghost of his ex-wife, and she doesn't talk too much. I'm just saying.
Well, she was originally voiced by me, which in the first couple of shorts and feature, but I wanted to get Alan for this one.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay. What are some things that do set her off though, Genevieve? Like, does she get annoyed if like the dishes are done, or is she like is she like what's going on?
She just loves to kill people, man.
Okay.
I mean, like, she gets mad. She gets mad if people break into her house. That's one of the plots of with the shorts. So if anybody comes near her house, she gets mad about that.
She's a scorned dead wife, man. So she's gonna kill the shit out of people.
Right. Okay. Cool. Does she have a weapon of choice? Is it like a knife or is it anything?
Yeah, she sometimes she uses like a little pocket knife, which is kind of funny. But in this new film, she actually uses a regular size knife. This is the first time we see her with
she upgraded.
A big knife. Yeah, and she bites too, so she uses her teeth as well.
How do you get the knife to stay in the doll's hand? Do you have to glue that in there, or is it a different type of material? Or
it's all about camera angles. The doll is like pretty limited with the movements and stuff. So most of the time when you see the doll with the knife, the doll is never holding the knife. It's me holding the knife off camera or somebody else holding the knife. And then we're moving the doll and the knife at the same time, make it look like she is moving it. We just have to use a right angle.
That's really cool. Do you ever show it from the viewpoint of the doll? Like we talked about this in a movie review recently in
POV shots.
Argento, and do you have like these scenes where you see it from the doll's viewpoint, like she's looking at the potential victim and moving in kind of towards them, that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, we always do the POV shots, like the Evil Dead and like even Halloween type thing, like the original opening for Halloween. Yeah, we do that stuff all the time.
Friday the 13th, they did it too. Yep.
Oh yeah, Friday the 13th with Jason's mom in the original, and I think they did it.
You spoiled the movie. How dare you? I'm just joking. If you haven't seen Friday the 13th already, come on now. Come on. I'm messing with you, bro. Okay. So Genevieve, she murders people that enter her house. I like what you do with the knives. You have limitations with the doll. That doll is pretty scary. Did you get some feedback as far as people being haunted in their dreams by that doll?
No, I don't think so, because usually there's a lot of horror, like there's a lot of comedy with the Genevieve series, so it's a lot of build up. So it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be scary, and then once she starts to get going, it's like you're laughing, you know. So yeah, it's a little bit of that, like it's a horror setup with a comedy payoff.
Okay,
very cool.
Okay, so they're more like laughing at the doll. But I mean, I saw the trailer. The trailer looked pretty cool. It actually got Evil Dead. You know, I got Evil Dead vibes from the trailer. It's good that you mentioned Evil Dead, because the book. There's a book in the movie, Bound in Flesh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my tribute to Evil Dead. I had to have some sort of Necronomicon-esque thing in here.
Okay.
That's very cool.
And can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, it was made by Midian Lab on Etsy. And yeah, he made it like special, like he did a specialty one for me in the film. And I guess there's not too much to say about it, other than in the film it's used as like a prop, because this movie is more like I guess the best way I could describe the film is like Chucky or Child's Play or Puppet Master meets Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because I play a screenwriter, and and I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to incorporate Genevieve into this new story, and then eventually the story becomes real.
You know, I just had a thought too. What he said. What is up with horror? Have you noticed, like, horror authors writing about horror authors or horror writers or screenplays? You know, that's a thing. There's a pattern to that. Stephen King does it. You know, like Wes Craven. You know, people do that thing. Sorry.
Well, I do it because budget, though. I do it because budgetary reasons. Like, I mean, I'm not really too much of an actor. I mean, the best character I can play is myself, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's working with your limitations, and that's you're using what your limitations are, and you're trying to make the most of it. And you understand your flaws. You know, not the best actor, so you probably try to find other people, or maybe kind of like. I'm sure there's been times where you botched the lines, or you thought that performance was bad, and maybe you had to do several takes, right?
Not too much, because I already know what I want, and I write my parts that I know I'm playing. Like, I'm not going to give myself a scene where I have to cry. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that. So,
right.
Yeah. So it's usually not that big of a deal.
What kind of scene would you give yourself?
A scene where I'm being chased by a killer doll.
That's cool, man. Okay, I can dig that one. Or stabbing somebody, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for a second, Bill forgot what sort of doll we're talking about. What is it? Is it a killer doll, or is it one of those Japanese dolls? What doll are we talking about now? Oh wait, Genevieve.
Limited budget, man. I knew it wasn't a Japanese doll.
What is it, Korean or something? Like China? It's made in China. Okay. All right. So. Genevieve. I gotta check this out. Like I said, I'm gonna buy one of the DVDs. From you. Could have bought the doll, and that's still a deal that's going on right now, right? For like people could pre-order the DVD and also get the doll, like a action figure, or not action figure, but a collector's piece.
Yeah, we only have one doll left though, and it's going to a local comic shop down here in Philly.
So
Blue Line Collectibles. It should be going there probably sometime, maybe next week. It might be available. I'm not sure yet, but yeah. So we only have one left right now, and there's also going to be DVDs available there as well.
That is really awesome.
That is pretty cool.
The doll. Did you get Etsy to make the doll as well? Did you get that off of?
Supfu.
Oh, that was a super chat. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually. Yeah, I did. I like. There's a lot of like indie artists and stuff on Etsy that I love to give work. So if I like their stuff, I always try to incorporate it into my movies. But yeah, the artist is actually from Etsy. Yeah. Okay,
that's cool. And that thing looks wicked. It looks like a real voodoo doll. Like it would be cursed in real life. And Eisenhorn, thank you so much for the super chat.
Wait a minute. The original doll is not actually from Etsy, but the figures are from Etsy. I just wanted to clear that up if that was confusing. Yeah.
So, and you're for sure certain that they're not voodoo dolls. Like if I were to like stab one, it would be okay. Like I'm not hurting somebody. Because they do look pretty convincing.
You might be hurting Genevieve. I mean, maybe that's about it.
Well, maybe she deserves it again. I don't know. That sounds kind of mean. Genevieve is coming after me. My dreams, man. My dreams. It's gonna happen. Okay, so being involved in the indie film industry and having a love for horror movies. Let me ask you, what is something that really grinds your gears, kind of pisses you off about either horror films or indie filmmaking?
Yeah, I was telling you guys earlier, it's the fact that every single movie feels like they have to be 2 hours long now. Mm-hmm. At least 2 hours long. It's just, that's a big pet peeve of mine.
Right. It's like we got to stretch these movies out, and they don't need to be stretched out at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like a slasher flick shouldn't take any more really than an hour, maybe an hour 30. That's kind of stretching. If it's an hour 30, I guarantee you there's going to probably be some sex scenes, maybe a boob shot, just some stuff, If it's 2 hours long, then there's going to be long-winded chase scenes, and then maybe some deep internal character conflict that doesn't even fucking matter, Right. Like a couple of scenes that really don't add anything at all to it, but it's supposed to add to the character. That character dies like in the next scene, and it's not really all that important. That character was a throwaway anyway. Like what Rob Zombie did with Halloween. Like Halloween was fine, But Rob Zombie's Halloween, he adds like, almost like an hour, like 30 minutes or 45 minutes of Michael Myers past, and then and then you get the movie.
I'll defend that though. I'll defend that because I actually think that. Now I agree, like that you shouldn't know too much about Michael Myers. That's how I think the character should be. But at least that was a little bit more interesting than the rest of the movie because the rest of the movie is literally a remake of the original. There's not really too much different. So at least he was doing something different there, you know?
I will give you that. He did something different. And, I mean, the shot-for-shot remake that Rob Zombie did towards, I guess, a huge portion of the movie, I thought was pretty much him just showing, like, respect to, the original creation. And it's his beginning. And that's the thing that gets real divisive. Some people either love it or they hate it. And because, you just turned Michael Myers' family into a bunch of white trash, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I mean, there's white trash in the city, too, in the suburbs. I mean, shit, I live in the white trash of the suburbs, probably. I mean, I'm drinking Lone Star out there without a shirt on sometimes. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I that scene with the family, though, in the beginning, I think it's the first scene in the movie. Yeah, that scene is not that fun to watch.
No. Okay. So what are some other good examples of like padding out time, like a horror movie that just goes on forever? A 2-hour horror movie.
I actually didn't see it Chapter 2, the newest one, because to be honest, I didn't really like the first chapter. But I heard it Chapter 2 has a lot of filler. I heard that's one of the biggest complaints from people that I talked to. I haven't seen it though, so that's not personal experience.
Yeah, they could have made it one movie. They could have made it one movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen Army of the Dead by any chance?
I have seen Army of the Dead, and I fell asleep through Army of the Dead.
It took me 3 times to watch it myself.
Yeah,
I mean, look, I love Zach though. I don't want to get on Zach, but like, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes just like, I think the problem is the movie has a really strong beginning, and then nothing really happens in the middle half of the movie, especially zombie wise, until the last half. But by that point, you're already sleeping. You know?
Yeah, way too long. The beginning was the best part. The beginning was the that montage was great. I love that. Should have been the movie.
Zach does really good opening credit sequences too.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
He does. He's good with that. I liked how the whole thing started with because of a blowjob. Oh, that's crazy. Roadside Head, man. Roadside Head. I think. We lost Beowulf. He'll come back in. Mr. Beowulf. Lost him. Hopefully he'll come back in and things will be fine. I put him under so much stress. So much stress. Oh, and Army of the Dead. Man, in that movie, like... Okay, I'm spacing on the name of the character. But the character that they went to go save, she was the mom... She like disappears from the helicopter or something at the end. It was like, what was the point of all that? What was the point of trying to save her?
Yeah.
She's just gonna go. Pff. Anyway, another reference, a good example, I think, for a movie that's way too long. A Quiet Place, like that could have been told like faster. It's just kind of like
the first one or the second one.
I haven't seen the second one, but the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
Especially, I can see how people get bored because there's not that much dialogue too, especially in the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see that.
I mean, you're dealing with. It's like you spend like an hour and a half to try to convey to the audience that this chick is deaf, she can't hear anything, and then we get that, okay. Oh, and then she finally figures out it's the earpiece, but that's not until like the very, 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 very end. It's like, okay, it seems so padded out. Now, what are some things that grind your gears about indie filmmaking, though? Like, there has to be a couple things. You mentioned Amazon.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing with that would be like nobody really wants to help the little guy. You know, nobody really wants to help you out. Like you have to pull this thing all by yourself. That's the biggest thing. I mean, it's not like I get it, like I understand it, and that's just kind of what I have to do. But that's just the biggest downside of it, I guess. But the big plus is that you're doing what you love, and also that people are going to see it, and just seeing their response to it is really it pays off, you know.
I imagine so. And what's that response like for you?
Most of the time, it's pretty positive.
Right.
And also, like a lot of the times, the critiques of my movies are things that I kind of can't help because of the budget, you know. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, but most of it is really positive because I feel like my movies, like, they connect with people because, like, a lot of people just realize that a lot of them were fun, you know, like, and you can accept that it's just a fun, dumb movie, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have fun with that.
Well, a lot of horror movies are fun, dumb movies. I think some of my favorite horror movies are fun, dumb movies, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I kind of fell in love with the genre. That's the type of movie that I kind of wanted to make.
Birdemic is a fun, dumb movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah, Birdemic's great. The Birdemic theme song is classic.
Yes. Now, I'm sure you get a lot of criticism, too. Like, probably some mean things.
Sometimes, honestly, most of the time, it's not like that. It depends on the movie, I guess. But
yeah.
I mean, I haven't really got that in a while, to be honest.
Okay. Now,
Not too much, at least.
Do you ever get that sort of reaction from other filmmakers, like other indie guys?
What do you mean exactly?
Like, when you share your trailer or share your movie around, like, how's the reception with other indie guys? Are they supportive? Are they really, like, I don't know, maybe kind of dismissive because maybe they're really competitive, or you know?
I would say they're usually supportive with my experience with it, to be honest. Like, all the indie filmmakers that I've met and stuff, and that I've talked to, they've all been really supportive.
That's good. That's
and
a
lot of them, and a lot of them are trying to promote their own stuff as well, so they know exactly where I'm coming from. So yeah, it's just I think that they're really supportive overall.
Yeah, and of course you probably get the occasional asshole who's just like really mean or has something up his ass. You know, just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody gets that. Like, so especially filmmakers. Literally, every single filmmaker has gotten stuff like that. And if you don't, then I feel like your stuff's not connecting with people. Like, to a certain extent, like, if somebody like loves it or hates it, that's kind of what you want. Like, being in the middle is not the best place to be because that means you're forgettable. Mm-hmm. You know.
So, and what's something that's coming next? Hey, Mr. Beowulf. Thank you for coming back.
I apologize. Technical difficulties. I apologize, Nicholas.
It's no problem.
It's all right.
I was asking him. So what's next? What's coming next for you, Mr. Jacobs, after Genevieve?
Well, as of right now, we're just focusing on this movie currently. Just trying to get this movie out there, especially because we don't have Amazon now, so I had to like do a lot of extra work to promote this thing. But yeah, as of right now, we're just kind of figuring this out. But if this does do well, then we'll probably make a Genevieve Part 2 and maybe further the series. I don't know yet. I guess like just tune into like my social medias and different things like that to find out what we're going to have. Because as of right now, it's uncertain.
Right. That uncertainty, that has to be hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Has every film you've done so far had to do with Genevieve?
No, a lot of the shorts that I've done have to do with Genevieve, at least all the recent ones. But no, there's 2 feature films that have absolutely nothing to do with Genevieve, and also all of my other shorts have absolutely nothing to do with Genevieve. But Genevieve has been like one of my more recent characters that I've been doing a lot of stuff with. So like the past couple years, I've been doing stuff on and off with her.
That's cool. When I heard Tales from 6 Feet Under, that title, I thought that maybe this was short stories, and one would be Genevieve. I didn't know if she had any involvement in that film or not.
Well, no,
what
yeah,
is that
Genevieve.
film about?
Well, Genevieve appeared in my first anthology feature, which is Urban Fears. So yeah, she had her own anthology segment in that. But Tales from 6 Feet Under is a black and white, like Tales from the Crypt meets, I guess like the Twilight Zone sort of.
Nice.
Like that's kind of what I was going for with that, and yeah, with a little bit of creep show in there too, especially with the music. And yeah, so it's 3 stories, and one of the stories stars me. The final story stars my girlfriend, and the first story stars my cousin. So yeah, we were just trying to like pull the whole thing together, and every story is not really connected, but Urban Fears' stories were connected. So the Tales from 6 Feet Under is more of the traditional anthology format.
Okay. And with these anthologies, with these little stories you're working on, what is the one that pushed you the most?
You're saying like the individual stories?
Yeah, like
or the feature themselves.
The individual stories in the feature. Like which one of those like really, you know what, let me change it. Which one really which one was the hardest to do because it was uncomfortable? Like do you ever have to do like a short or whatever, a short video that's ever makes you kind of like uncomfortable, like push you out of your comfort zone?
Well, my first feature film is basically like a Saw-esque sort of torture, like revenge type movie that me and my sister shot together, and like we did that was like sort of like gritty sometimes, and it was like, well, when you're filming, you're like, it's okay, we just got to get it done, it's whatever. And then after, like when we're looking at the thing, we're like, oh, like some of the stuff's pretty twisted, you know, like it's just like not really in the making of it, but it's after the fact. You're like, oh yeah, okay, I see this. This is it's pretty fucked up.
Wait, are you telling me you killed your sister? No.
I
almost got you there.
I'm not gonna spoil the movie.
No. The NSA is definitely not listening.
You,
I'm not a Fed. Just mess with you.
No. But what's it called? Yeah, I'm not gonna like spoil it too much, but like most of my stories are about like either like a bad person getting just dessert, I guess you would say, or a hero or somebody that's good going through a whole bunch of trauma and coming out on the end. So that was definitely one of those.
Okay. So working this short, so we know which one pushed you the most, made the most uncomfortable, like work with your sister. Oh, you have to work with your sister. I'm just messing with you. I get why though, because she had to be in scenes, and it is uncomfortable sometimes, you know, especially the subject matter. Man.
Yeah, it's just the idea of like kidnapping somebody, and like, because the movie is like about like kidnapping like a girl, and like there's like a live show, and you're streaming this thing for his audience, and then they donate money. They donate money to see different things be done to this person. Honestly, like we don't really go too far with it, because like I was trying to be pretty respectable with the thing, because it doesn't really appeal to me to do too much gore or whatever. Like it's like a soft version of that type of story, because I didn't want to go there, you know. But yeah, like just the idea of it is unsettling. That's what I'm trying to say with that one.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you use any fake props? Like I know when I was in high school, we used to buy those tongues at the Halloween store. You didn't have a scene where they pulled her tongue out, cut it off, or anything, did you? Didn't get that gory.
No, yeah, like I said, it's like very tame because I just didn't want to go there. It's just because that would make it really uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't uncomfortable. It was
Imagine.
it was just the idea of it that was uncomfortable. Is what I'm saying with that one. Like just the thought, like, oh wow, this whole story, and the fact that stuff like that happens in real life. You know, that's part of the reason why it made us think about that.
Like
So
it's like the time I
we
wrote
did
a
use like
scene.
retractable knives and stuff in that one too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the retractable knife thing. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is.
So that's cool. What you do with the props? And the fake blood still there. That's lasting a while. That's good.
Since
now,
high school.
I guess we get into like, what is your favorite horror movie and why?
I guess my favorite horror film would be probably Army of Darkness because that's the one that literally made me become a filmmaker or made me want to become a filmmaker.
Definitely better than Army of the Dead. Army of Darkness.
Definitely shorter than Army of the Dead.
It is shorter, but it seems longer though. Because it's a longer story. There's more to it. It's actually a full story. Army of the Dead was like 3 stories thrown together. It's just like, come on now, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently,
had all these great one lines, man. Like, give me some sugar, baby. You know?
yeah.
It's just pillow talk.
Army of
I
Darkness
still
is great.
use those lines, man. It still doesn't get them anywhere, but I use them.
This is the chin. You got to have that nice chin, man.
That's true.
Yeah, man. Ash versus Evil, man. That series was so cool, and it was hard, man. They did stuff in that show, like when that one scene when that what's the actress name? God, she was fucking hot in the scene. She was smoking weed out of a shotgun. It's like, holy fuck, god damn, this is.
Wait, did you finish the show?
I did finish the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bummer when that got canceled. I remember that's probably my favorite show of all time, honestly.
Well, it usually always sucks when the show has to end. I don't know if I don't know which show really has a satisfactory ending because it's over. It's over. And be like, that's it. I mean, sometimes a series has a really good ending. I mean, kind of okay. It's like it's still, you hate to see it go, you know. But then some just drop the ball. Some are just like they just ruin everything. You hate it. It's like, fuck you. That's what you do with that character.
To my last episode, like Dexter or something like that.
Yeah, like that was so dumb. Like the last season with Dexter was like they're just wrapping things up. They're like, all right, this is the last one, so we're gonna do things. And Deb's okay. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. And apparently Dexter's coming back.
I think you'll save people a lot of time. I don't think you're spoiling.
Dexter's coming back. He's done being a lumberjack. Or something. Man. I don't know what they were doing with him. Anyway, so okay. Another question I like to ask my guests, so not all the time, is do you believe in the paranormal?
What do you mean by that exactly?
Well, the paranormal is not supposed to happen, but it does happen sometimes, right? I mean, does it?
You're saying like ghosts and stuff like that?
Yeah, like ghosts, voodoo dolls, curses.
Or, anything that's out of the ordinary, kind of the only way you can explain it is it's got to be supernatural, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the I was looking for. The supernatural isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen sometimes.
To be honest, I don't really believe in that stuff, I have to say.
Oh, it's a cover. That doll that you ordered, I guarantee you is a weapon.
Really don't, I have to say, I mean, there's definitely, like, I don't know. I never really experienced too many things where it's like, oh, okay. Like, me personally was like, oh, okay, that was definitely legit. Like, it's more just weird stuff that No, I don't even know if I really have an experience like that. Honestly, I don't think I do.
Okay. Now, I want you. The reason I asked though is because apparently there's this thing. It's a market of cursed dolls. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Like, people will sell these damaged dolls on eBay and probably Etsy for money, and the dolls usually have a backstory. They look real damaged, like burned and abused and messed up. And there's a backstory about how, and then it's like the soul of someone else, and it's creepy, but people buy that. There's a whole market for it. Small, but weird, right? I'm surprised I'm the only one here that knows that.
Is it haunted, or is it just like a creepy doll? Like it's supposed to be haunted by a certain thing or entity or whatever.
Well, if you ask the seller, I'm pretty sure they'll say it's haunted. It's haunted for real. It's haunted. But I mean that's the thing. The people buy into it. It's kind of like the mystery. It's like suspense. Is it really haunted? No, it's not haunted. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. There's definitely something I want you to check out. I don't know if you have. It's called the Island of the Dead Dolls. Have you checked it out?
I'll look that up.
It's in Mexico.
Oh wait, and like, is there like dolls like hung in trees and shit like that, or?
Yes.
Yeah,
you know about it.
I actually seen that before. Then
you know about it. Yes, that's pretty cool. Mr. Beowulf, do you know about this place?
I do not. I've never heard of the Island of the Dead Dolls. Sounds cool. I'll have to look that up.
It looks pretty creepy. Near this house, the shed. Okay, I'm gonna say house, a domicile. I don't know. It could be a mansion to somebody who lives there. And around it, and these trees are just these mutilated dolls, just kind of hung from rope and all. And they look. When I say mutilated, when you look at these dolls, it hurts kind of. You're like, man, that looks like pretty savage, you know?
Some freaky shit, man.
Yeah.
That would freak me out if I was walking around and I saw a bunch of mutilated dolls in trees, man. It's creepy.
I believe, I don't know if I got this lore right, but supposedly it's to keep bad spirits away. But I don't know how that works. Yeah, so there's that. You learned something here today, guys, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. All right. So Nicholas Michael Jacobs. I am looking forward. I'm gonna buy your DVD tonight, and I'm looking forward to watching this movie.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to what happens next. You know, what comes up next. You know, for your like later projects, and where you go from there. And I wish you all the best, and I hope you enjoy your time here in Hard Talk Radio. You know.
Definitely did.
Okay, that's good. And ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, make sure you press the like button, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps out. And y'all take it easy. I'll take it easy. All right, I'm going to mute us now.